Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's live tap and talk. What do we do during the tap and talk? We tap, of course. And today we are working on the art of allowing. So, this, of course, was a fabulous book by Esther Hicks, Abraham, The Law of Attraction. And it's all about being able to calm your central nervous system, release resistance, release the blocks, the fears, the doubts, the reactions, and the chemical reactions that are going on within your body that are affecting your frequency and your vibration and actually blocking you from being able to create and receive the money, the wealth, the abundance, living the life of your dreams. The only thing standing in between you and your dreams is you. Once you shift your mindset, once you shift your identity, once you work with universal laws and universal forces, not against them, everything shifts, everything changes. And the reason this seems so tricky and so hard to so many people is that our minds, our human minds, are incredibly vulnerable and they're very impressionable. And this is all by design, by the way, because remember, you are spirit having a human experience, not the other way around. You are an eternal being. You are a being that was birthed from source, the divine, spirit, God, the universe. You are an extension of source and all that is. You are, as Esther Hicks and Abraham would say, on the leading edge of creation. You are a creative force of unmatched magnitude because, as Dr. Wayne Dyer would say, you must be like that which you came from. You came from source. And he used to use the analogy, if you cut a piece of pie out of an apple pie and you remove the piece of pie, it doesn't become something different. It's still an apple pie. It's a part of the apple pie. That piece of pie that has been shifted and removed, even eaten, then it becomes digested apple pie. But it must still be like that which it came from. It doesn't suddenly transform into something else. And you're the same. You came from source. You are a direct form that is still connected to source energy, to all that is. And that realization, that understanding, that remembering who you truly are is a huge key to you being able to use the principles of allowing that we're going to work through today. So I'm going to do some targeted tapping with you today on being able to calm your central nervous system. Now, we live in a world that is on fire right now. Everything is on fire. We live in a reactionary world. And if you are watching the news, then it's highly likely that your brain is responding to specific information in a way that is potentially not advantageous. It's not optimum for you to be in the right state of mind to create the life that you desire and deserve. So it's about fostering the right state of being, the right state of mind. So let's go back to basic principles to do with the law of attraction. So Nikola Tesla, if you want to understand the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. Everything, every single thing that you experience in this human form is energy, frequency, and vibration. And I know this is hard to wrap your head around, but I will keep saying it all the time. This is an optical illusion. It's all an illusion. It's all a holographic projection of your creation. So if everything is energy, frequency, and vibration, and energy never disappears or is created. It simply shifts form. What is it that is creating your experience of this concentration of energy? So if you think of like, I'm tapping on myself right now, I can feel that happening. So how is that just energy, frequency, and vibration? We have created this incredible, it's all theater. It's all theater. And we have created this incredible theater that we are playing a role in, where everything feels so tangible. Our brain experiences it as real because we can feel it, taste it, touch it. We have these senses by which we go, yeah, okay, I can touch that. That's real. But is it real? Is it real? Or is that just your perception and your understanding based on your experience? And you are the creator of that experience. And the energy, frequency, and vibration becomes concentrated. The reason it feels so tangible and it feels so real is because the energy is so concentrated and so compact, it creates the illusion of reality. I know, I don't really understand it either. I'm not a quantum physicist. It still blows my mind. But these principles make so much sense. And they are something that they are a knowing. When you start to really embrace them and explore them, you remember, oh yeah, that's right. Because within inside of you, there is still that knowing of what you're doing here, of how you came here, of what this really is. You knew it when you came in as a baby. But as I said, the human mind is incredibly impressionable. And what happened is you were conditioned, could even call it brainwashed, out of who you truly are, knowing who you truly are, knowing that you are an infinitely powerful being. And the reason this is so important to the allowing is because you are creating your experience moment by moment. And there is a lag. So it is your focus, your attention, and your intention that causes the energy to concentrate in a very specific way that you experience as real life. So you shift your focus, your attention, and your intention today, you will start to see a shift in your experience tomorrow. I'm not saying everything's going to change overnight. This is a very concentrated and dense, visceral experience on this planet. So shifting our reality is a process. It's a becoming. So lean in to the becoming. And it is your resistance that prevents you from creating the new version of reality that you want to create. What is the resistance? The resistance is the negative frequency and vibration. The resistance is the fears, the doubts, the self-doubt, the limiting beliefs, the it's not safe, I'm not good enough, I don't deserve it. That's the resistance. And in a reactionary world where we're reacting to everything as if everything's an emergency, your central nervous system is constantly hyper-wired for an emergency, which means you are not vibrating at a frequency that is optimum for a positive creative experience. And you are co-creating your life moment by moment by moment. Love, peace, joy, it are powerful co-creative forces. And so is fear and hate and loathing and disappointment and frustration and anger They are also incredibly powerful co-creative forces. And we are more likely to feel that intensity of anger than we are to feel the intensity of love because of our history, because of the way the world operates, because of the way we're being manipulated by forces that do not want us to be in our in the highest and most powerful state of being that we can be. Because when we are in the highest and most powerful state that we can possibly be, we're unstoppable, baby. We are absolutely freaking unstoppable. So if you look at this from the perspective that everything is a story, everything is a perception, every judgment, every criticism, every decision, every choice you make is based on perceptions and stories. Every emotional reaction that you have that is not who you truly are, which who you truly are is love, peace, joy, freedom, compassion, understanding. Everything that is not that is not who you truly are. So think of something in your life that is a source of frustration. That is a source of pain for you right now. I'm going to drop you in it. Think about that situation that is causing you pain. Maybe it's a personal relationship with a person. Maybe it's a loss that you've experienced recently. Maybe it's a financial situation. What is something that you're struggling with that is causing you pain? Think about the actual situation. It could be something physical. That's a little tougher to overcome, although tapping is an incredible way to be able to relieve that source of pain and suffering. That's why I love it so much. That's why I continue to do it all the time. Think about that source of pain. Now, detach yourself emotionally. Unclutch, as the Buddhists would say. Just release your emotional attachment. Repeat after me. I release my emotional attachment to this situation. I release my judgment and criticism about this situation. I let go of my opinions about this situation. I let go of my judgments and criticisms. I choose to look at this situation with new eyes. I choose to be open to a new perspective. I choose to let go of my emotional attachment to this situation. I distance myself from all the emotion and the emotional charge that is generated when I think about this situation. I let go of the emotional charge that is generated when I focus on this situation. I look at it with new eyes. I look at it with a fresh perspective. I'm open to a new understanding. Okay, breathe. Now, the situation hasn't been solved. It hasn't gone away. It's still there. But hopefully, if this process is working, you're a little bit calmer about it right now. Your brain doesn't, all the pain centers of your brain don't light up and are set on fire the moment you think about it. If you're still feeling some of that, just breathe. Be present in the here and now. If you let go of all your emotions, all the stories, your perceptions, your judgments, your criticisms about that situation, and you just become the observer, you're just watching it, no judgment, no emotion, no story running in the background. What do you notice? Do you notice the emotional charge is no longer there? So, in relation to that emotional charge, what's the story? What's the story that has been created by your conscious mind around this situation that is causing the emotional response? Because let's take, for instance, let's go to the money side of things. If you look at your bank account and you've got more bills than money in your account, and there's a whole lot of uncertainty around your financial future and your financial situation, and you're struggling, it's common, I know. What is the story you've created around that? That's not a story, that's my reality. I know that is the reality of your experience, but the emotional response is created by the story that you've attached to it. So I've got all these bills and not enough money, and that causes me pain because I'm a responsible human being and I want to take care of my business financially. Because I want certainty in my financial future. Because I don't know how I'm going to pay these bills. Because if I don't pay these bills, I'm going to lose my house. They're going to turn off my electricity. I'm not going to be able to feed my family. Do you see how all of these things are projections? They're projections of, I'm not going to be able to take care of this in the future. The projection is, I'm not enough. The projection is, I'm not capable of solving this problem. The projection is, this is going to cause me more pain in the future, so I'm stressed out now. Now take a breath again. Deep breath. When you release the story and the pain goes away, do you realize that you have more access to higher functioning parts of your brain, the solution centers of your brain, to help you to solve this problem? Every problem has a solution. You are bigger than any problem or challenge you will ever face. You've got this. Repeat after me while you're tapping. I've got this. I can solve this. I choose to allow myself to relax and trust I will find the solution to this problem. And maybe you don't need to solve the problem. Maybe you just need to let go of your resistance to the problem. Do you know there are things in our world that we concern ourselves with that are actually none of our business? That if we just let go of our emotional attachment to them, it would kind of have a way of working out. I'm not saying you don't take care of business personally. I'm not saying you don't take action to create better outcomes in your life. Far from it. I'm all about taking consistent, aligned, inspired action every day toward your goals, your dreams, your business, the future you wish to create. I'm all about that. But there are other things outside of you that you wish to control, that you wish to have influence over, that is a waste of your time and energy because it's not your business. And there are forces that are outside of your control that you're not supposed to control. Actual fact, control is an illusion too. We don't really have control over anything. We have influence over certain stuff. And the closer the point of power is to us, meaning the more it is directly within our field of influence, the greater the leverage and the power that we have, the greater we have the ability to influence the outcome, your finances, your relationships, your health. Take your power back in relation to things that are central to your world, not the world, your world. And here's the beautiful part about all of this. The more you attend to your frequency, your vibration, your alignment, to your consciousness, to elevating and evolving yourself, the more you have a positive influence over the world, the more you raise your frequency and vibration and stop worrying about everything that's happening out there. The whole world's on fire, all the shit that's out of your control that you're so concerned about and losing your mind over. The more you let go of that, raise your frequency and vibration, because that has the most powerful, impactful influence over the future that we get to create as a conscious collective. Those high functioning monks and spiritual people who are sitting in mountaintops and meditating, they're not doing anything. But the influence they have and the impact they have on raising the frequency and vibration of our planet is probably why we haven't completely destroyed the planet already, decades ago, to be perfectly honest. It's probably that they are harnessing the light and bringing more light in and spreading the light and the love and elevating the frequency and the consciousness of the planet. They are countering the dark frequencies, the dark forces, through their level of consciousness and their choosing to put all their focus and energy and attention on the frequency and vibration. I don't mean that you need to go to a mountaintop and just meditate. If that's your calling, then do it. But answer your calling. What do you want to create in the world? What do you want to build in the world? What problem do you want to solve in the world that you have the ability to influence as a direct consequence of the action that you take? Stop fighting what is. It's futile. It's a waste of your precious time and energy, which are resources that you should be guarding with such vigor that it's like your whole life depends on that. It really does. Your whole future depends on that. You're welcome, Laura. I'm glad this is landing for you. So stop freaking out about everything. And here's another thing. Stop taking yourself and everything that's going on in the world so damn seriously. Lighten up, babe. Lighten up. Bring back the joy. Bring back a childlike curiosity to what's unfolding. Observe it. Be aware of it. But stop being so reactive to it, going, I wonder how this is going to unfold. The less you fight it, the more you start to see the perfection in everything. Yes, I know there is pain in the world. I know there is a lot of pain in the world. I am not denying that. And that is the result of thousands of years of this planet being in a very specific phase of our evolution. It's cosmic, it's not just this planet, it's interplanetary, it's interdimensional, it's intergalactic. There are multiple sort of the universe is currently in an evolutionary phase where more and more high vibration and frequency and light is pouring into all corners of our universe and our cosmos. So what's going on here is reflective around the world. Sorry, around the universe. So the more you can be the observer and know that it is unfolding exactly the way it's meant to. So Eckhart Tolle said, we either evolve or we die. That is what it is, because energy is never created or destroyed. It just simply shifts form. So you leave this existence, you simply move into another form. It's a transition, a transformation. You don't die. You will never die. You can't die. You will leave this human meat suit that you have been occupying for a little while. But when you stop freaking out and you stop taking everything so seriously, I'm not saying you don't have big challenges right now. And I'm not saying you need to abandon your responsibilities, by no means. But stop freaking out like everything is an emergency and an existential crisis in your life. Relax. Allow. Lean into the unfolding. Trust the process of discovery, of growth, of expansion, of becoming who you truly are. Remembering who you truly are. Exploring the possibilities with childlike curiosity and veracity and excitement. Think of a baby who comes into the world and is allowed and given the space and the opportunity and the support to just explore their world. They have no judgment, they have no discernment, they have no filter. They're just exploring. And a child who feels safe in their environment and protected and loved, watch how they just observe and touch and feel and explore. And yes, they react. They cry when they're hungry and they're uncomfortable, and they cry when they feel pain, and they cry when they fall over. It's a natural emotional response. There's nothing wrong with your emotional responses to life. But if you're constantly in a reactionary state to everything because of your judgments and your opinions, then that's an issue, because that's affecting your frequency and vibration. You are a constant transmission station. So you are constantly transmitting messages back to the mothership, back to source, back to the divine, back to God, the universe. And the universe, source, the divine, God is responding to your frequency and vibration. It's responding to your messages, your signal, your transmission. It cannot respond with anything that is different to the transmission you are sending out. The same analogy of the radio station. You can't tune into a pop station and get classical music and vice versa. It doesn't work that way. So if you're not getting the results that you want, if you're not having the experience that you want, you're in control of that. You're not in control of everything that's happening out there, but you are in control of how you respond to what's going on. You are in control of the actions that you take, of the judgments that you make, of your discernment and what you put your focus and attention on. That is what is in your control. That is where you pour all your energy and your focus. because that is how you create your future your way. And I know it's hard. Don't worry, mate. I ain't got this down yet either. I am still a work in progress. I love doing these videos for you. I'm also doing them for me. It's a good reminder for me. Oh yeah. They're the principles that I know and love. It reminds me to embody these principles, to live by these principles. Because it's very easy to get drawn into the drama, isn't it? So much drama. So many opinions, so many judgments. So many people hating each other on the internet. That does my brain. That breaks my brain, that shit. Why are we all hating each other? Since when were we not able to have a difference of opinion and still respect each other at the end of it? Since when did we have to hate somebody just because they have a different thought process and a different idea and a different opinion to us? All of a sudden, they're the enemy because they don't think like me. Well, wait a minute. What? Let's explore this, shall we? Let's have some sort of a respectful conversation. And this is what you need to be doing in your brain, having respectful conversations in your brain that actually are curious to find out what's really going on up here. So I love this work. It's so much discovery and letting go of your emotional attachment to everything that doesn't serve you is a big part of this. So having said that, oh my God, it's 30 minutes. Man, I can talk so much. I do hope you found this valuable. I'm glad you're finding this powerful. Thank you for that feedback. I can talk underwater, obviously. So let's do a little bit of targeted tapping to finish this off and to really invoke this state of allowing and letting go, right? So this will just take a few more minutes. So I want you to think again of something that is causing you this pain and this struggle within your life again. Something that you have an emotional reaction to that is difficult. Okay. So I want you to breathe into that. Just bring up every emotion that comes up. Okay. Just breathe into it and just keep tapping. Feel it. Feel all of it. Just allow it. Just allow it to percolate. Feel where it is in your body. Don't resist it. Resistance is futile. It's still going to be there. What you resist persists. Don't judge it. Don't criticize it. Just let it bubble up. Let it all bubble up. It's not going to hurt you. Just let it bubble up. Whatever that emotional reaction is, just let it bubble up. Just allow it. Give it permission. See, this is your emotional guidance system. Again, as Abraham Hicks would say. It's your emotional guidance system that's bringing up this stuff that wants to be healed, that wants to be released. So the more you allow it, stop judging it, criticizing it, shoving it down, the more you have the ability to release it. So every emotion that is fully metabolized and fully processed does not stay stuck in your energy system. It can't. And that is where emotional intelligence is so important, because the better we get at being able to process and metabolize those negative emotions, the more we move into higher states of frequency and vibration, the more we shift into love, peace, joy, happiness. So just repeat after me. I choose to allow the unfolding. I choose to see the perfection in this situation. I choose to allow the abundance to flow. I choose to allow the magic to be revealed. I choose to allow myself to find the solution. I choose to allow the perfection to unfold. I choose to allow the universe to support me fully and completely. I choose to allow myself to explore the possibilities. I choose to allow myself to discover my potential. I choose to allow myself to discover what I'm truly capable of. I choose to allow myself to know that anything is possible. I choose to allow and trust the unfolding. I choose to release all emotional resistance. I choose to release all emotional attachment. I choose to take consistent, aligned, inspired action towards solving these things that make me so uncomfortable. I allow myself to be curious. I allow the magic to unfold. I relax, allow, lean in, and let go. I let go of my judgment and criticism, and I allow it all to unfold the way it's supposed to. As I take action, I release my judgment about the outcome, and I allow everything to unfold as it's meant to. I allow myself to unleash my greatness. I allow myself to evolve emotionally, consciously. I allow myself to grow and expand as I solve these problems. I allow myself to remember who I truly am. I allow myself to grow and expand into the most powerful version of me. I allow myself to be happy. I allow myself to remember. I allow the money to flow. I allow my wealth to grow. I allow myself to explore the magic and the miracles that are always available through the divine, spirit, source, the universe. I allow myself to be fully engaged in creating my life on my terms. And I let go of my emotional attachment to all that no longer serves me, to all the things I have no control over. I release emotional attachment to all things that are not my business. So you can continue to do this tapping on allowing. Allowing what? What do you want to allow that's positive in your life? Allow the joy. Allow yourself to be happy. Allow yourself to be loved. And nobody will love you until you love yourself. Couple of things I want to leave you with before we wrap it up today. Firstly, letting go of your attachment to the outcome. So this is where a lot of people they fail because they have emotional attachment to getting the outcome they desire when they take a specific action. So when you take action, you can only take action based on the knowledge that you have, the skill sets that you have, the tools that you have available to you, the experience that you have. That is the basis of your action. And maybe you're highly expert and skilled in this area, or maybe you're just a newbie. And if you're a newbie and you have a high level of emotional attachment to getting the positive outcome that you want, then you are setting yourself up for massive disappointment. And this is why most people just stop trying, because they can't face another disappointment, because their emotional stability and well-being was so wrapped up in getting the outcome that they wanted that the emotional response within them is too painful for them to persist. You see, your persistence will be amplified, your ability to persist will be amplified when you can take action, assess and analyze the result when it's not what you wanted, and simply go, okay, that didn't work. Why didn't that work? What do I need to do differently? Take more action. Do you see how much more powerful that is than losing your mind over, "Oh, it didn't work. I lost money. I made the wrong decision. Oh my God, I'm such a failure. I'm such a loser. This says everything about me. I'm doomed to fail forever because it didn't work. Oh my God." I just about fell over then. Just because something didn't work doesn't mean that you're a failure. Just because you're failed says nothing about you. It's not an existential crisis. Failure is just feedback. It's not a terminal illness. Embrace it, baby. It's a part of the journey. It's learning. And the other thing I want to leave you with is Byron Katie. I love the work of Byron Katie. She is actually a big foundation of this teaching, is because it's her that says that your thoughts create your suffering. It is your perception about something that actually creates your suffering. And on that, we create perceptions and stories based on incomplete information. We believe we know the truth. But here's what the brain does. Because we very rarely, if ever, have access to every single piece of information to be able to make a decision. So what we do is we get the information that we have, and maybe we look for more information and we do our due diligence. And our brain fills in the gaps, and our brain has a bias. So our brain will fill in the gap according to the bias that we already have. And this is human. It is what we do. And when you're aware of that, this is why I have this thing of question everything and continue to question. You need to make decisions and you need to make choices based on the information that you have. But at the same time, remember that your perceptions and your stories are based on incomplete information. Your source of truth is not based in every piece of information that's available. We have access to just about every piece of information there is, particularly with AI. AI has amplified that even more. I mean, it was pretty big before, but we will pick and choose what information supports our bias before we make a decision. And there's nothing wrong with that, except if you're doing it unconsciously. Be willing to change your mind when presented with new information. For a lot of people, this is an existential crisis because we tend to lock on and identify with our thoughts, with our ideas, with ideologies. Ideologies are so dangerous. With our ascribing to a particular tribe, tribalism. We identify as a particular person who has a particular belief with and we align with a particular tribe, and to change that is a direct threat, and this is an ego thing, is a direct threat or perceived as a direct threat to our existence. And this is across the board in everything. Be willing to change your mind about stuff when presented with new information, and process that information with discernment, with integrity, and with a level of intelligence that is uncommon. Be uncommon. Be a critical thinker. Don't fall into the trap of the hive mind, group think. It's dangerous, dude. It's very dangerous. So that is a whole other workshop. That's a whole workshop in and of itself. So thank you so much for being with you today, for being with me today, being with you and me today. I love that you're showing up for yourself. I love that you are here for yourself, doing the work. That is so amazing. And if you want to go further with this, if you want to actually work with me personally, I have something very, very special right now. It's called the Breakthrough Room. I've got it at half price. It's 5 people in a hot seat. It's intensive. Be warned. I'm going to help you to get a breakthrough. And I even have a money back guarantee. So the link is in the description. If you want a direct experience with me and my coaching, go and check that out. That's coming up really, really soon. And there's only a limited number of seats, 5, in fact. There's times for the UK and there's times for the US and Australia. I hope to see you in a hot seat, because I would love to meet you in person and help you to get the breakthrough that you need. Until next time, take care. Keep tapping. Remember to like, subscribe, and comment. Thank you so much for your comments. I'm so glad that this has resonated with you. I will see you next time here or in one of my Breakthrough Room hot seats. Ciao. Have an amazing day.